Good afternoon, everyone. It's Martin King here from and Matty Nash from UK Casuals. Just doing a little tribute to a few Chelsea boys we've lost in the last week or so. It was Little Muggs' funeral yesterday. Good turnout for him. Lovely little fella. Gamers arseholes. You know, a real character. Be sadly missed. And I've just heard today Cole Tuffin, another one of the boys who's sadly passed away, and they're raising a glass or two to him out in Belfast this afternoon. And then lost a mate of mine on Sunday, Jimmy Cripps. He was an absolute legend. He served with 45 Commando based in R.I.P up in Scotland. Was a sniper was a mountain leader in Arctic warfare. Served in Northern Ireland, Falklands, Iraq. Was a Colour Sergeant. Served 22 years in the Royal Marines and was a really lovely, lovely man. Funny as fuck, full of Chelsea everywhere. When he finished in the Marines, he'd then done close protection work in Afghanistan, Iraq, done a lot of work for the Israeli government. But what a legend. You know, I could tell you a story. We was going to football once and he'd been out fishing and hunting the day before. And in his coat, he had a big commando knife. And he put his hand in his pocket when he was on the train up to Victoria. I think he was playing Tottenham in the semi-final at Wembley. And he said, fuck me, Martin, I've got a knife in my pocket. I said, you can't go football with a fucking knife in your pocket, Jim. So anyway, he got off the train, he found a post office, bought a jiffy bag and posted the knife back to his house, which he got back on the Tuesday. He was a real character, and I'd love, you know, just one of really lovely man. He didn't speak a lot about his time. And just a quick story from me about him. We was on a train coming back from Chelsea game. We was at King's Cross going back to Ebbsfleet in Kent. And there were 7 of us on a double table, which holds 8, and there was a spare seat. The train was packed. Young fella gets on. I didn't know Jim was in the Marines at the time, or had been in the Marines. And this young boy got on with a big rucksack, threw it up on the top. He said, can I sit here? We said, yeah. He said, where you been? We said, oh, we've been to Chelsea. You see a couple of the boys reading the programme. He said, where are you going then, mate? So I'm picking my ship up in Dover. Well, you're a steward on a cruise ship or something. He said, no, I'm in the Royal Marines like him. And he pointed at Jim, who was sitting next to me. And I looked at Jim and I thought, fucking Marines? His little geezer, about 5'7", beard. You know, he'd get picked on in the pub. And they started chatting. He said, it's Colonel so-and-so there, Sergeant so-and-so. And Jim told him what regiment, what part of the Marine Commandos he was in. And had a good old chat. And Jim said to me, you interested in like a life in the army then? I said, me, Jim, listen, I've just done 25 years. Joking. This is a joke at Chelsea. Just done 25 years in the French Foreign Legion. He said, have you? So all the boys started laughing. They said, Jim, it's a joke. It's been going on for 30 or 40 years. When no one sees Martin, he tells them he's been with the French Foreign Legion, and some people believe him. And he pissed himself laughing. Anyway, cut forward. About 6 weeks later, I'm sitting indoors, knock on the door as a postman. Jan goes to the door, comes in with this big parcel. So she says, this is for you. I said, well, anyway, I opened it up, and there's this in there. Don't know if you can see it. It's a paratroopers from the French Foreign Legion, beret, which I will model now. So he sent me that, and he sent me this. A coat from the French Foreign Legion, which only Legionnaires can wear. And there's the badge of the French Foreign Legion, if you can see it. Sent me that coat and that beret from the parachute regiment of the French Foreign Legion. And along with it was a certificate from the Colonel-in-Chief of the French Foreign Legion saying he has given me permission to wear that beret and that coat as an honorary member of the French Foreign Legion. Now, I'm saying, who the fuck has sent me that? I couldn't believe it. Anyway, when I met up with Jim, I said, yeah, someone sent me his load of Foreign Legion gear. So he started laughing. So I knew it was Jim, but that was his sense of humour. He enlisted me as an honorary member in the French Foreign Legion, and he will be sadly missed. You know, he was an absolute legend, and he followed Chelsea everywhere. He loved Chelsea. Let me just read you quickly one thing. My mate Adam, also a fellow Chelsea fan, knew Jim from when he was a child growing up in Kent. And this is what he says about Jim. Jim was a larger-than-life, kind-hearted, sarcastic, funny and lovable genius. He had the most strange sense of humour that even the most plain person would crack up laughing. He was the epitome of the phrase like Marmalade. But if you didn't love him, then you definitely had a huge hole in your life. Jim was one of the most avid Chelsea fans you will ever meet and travelled all around the world following us. The only other teams he supported was any European team playing against Liverpool, proven by his array of beautiful coloured European shit team shirts. I personally started going with Jim in the mid-90s and got instantly hooked. His love for the game shone through in everything he did. He was my rock for whenever a Bible Me came on at cup finals, just after losing my dad and crying, and after 5 minutes later, he would be an absolute mess listening to the national anthem. Jim was a proud British man, a true Chelsea fan, and above all, a bloody good mate, and someone I will never, ever forget. And that goes for me as well. God bless you, Jim. Rest in peace, mate. God bless you. He was a fucking legend at Chelsea and a legend in my heart. God bless you, Jim.